All right, so we're going to continue with our form and technique section. We've already talked about the 4 major punches of turbo kick, as well as the 4 major kicks of turbo kick. We've also talked about that turbo tuck and the guard and keeping everything really tight. So now we're going to extend that knowledge into some signature moves that are prevalent in a lot of turbo kick rounds, so that knowing the precise form and technique for these moves is going to help you get a better workout, but it's also going to help your participants get a better workout. And that's really what it's all about, is sharing that form and technique knowledge with your students so that they can get even deeper into turbo kick. So the first move that we're going to talk about is an extension of the guard. So we talked about that cell phone, home phone, right up by your face, keeping those elbows tucked in, core tight, palms facing each other. And now we're going to talk about an extension of that, which is the W. So the W is just a guard that follows that imaginary opponent out to the side. And you'll notice it makes a W with your arms. So one hand is near your face, the other hand, that elbow is tucked in kind of near your rib cage, and it's out so that you're protecting more outwards, framing the side of your body. Now, if you do the W correctly, you're really tight here, and you're going to get much deeper into your lats, your rhomboids, and your obliques than you would if you're just kind of hanging out here loosely. So you have to take it up, make it tight, tension in the muscles right there, and really feeling that depth. Now, when do we use the W? We use it in a move called the W, which goes from side to side. We go wide with our feet, you come down into a stance, you show me that W guard, and then you rotate, you come over, W to the other side. Again, rotate, come over, W. So it's shoo, shoo. Yes, going side to side, getting deep into the legs, but also staying really strong in that guard. The other reason we use the W is actually in kicks. So we just talked about all the kicks of turbo kick. The side push kick, the roundhouse, as well as the back push kick, all use a W guard because we got to follow that imaginary opponent. So think about the roundhouse. If we come up, that knee chamber's up, you kick out with that pointed toe, the guard comes out in a W and actually frames that body and frames the kick to the side. So again, one next to your face, one up here, you're framing the side of the kick. And if you were to go to the other side, you would just march, switch. Switching that W so that you're framing whichever side you're going to. And it also comes with the side push kick, same thing, chambering in, pressing out, coming back in, and down. And we also do it with the back push kick. So again, you're actually going to turn to the back, take the W to the back, and kick this way as well. So you can see that we use the W all the time, but if you really create that tension in your muscles, again, you're going to get more work out of the move. So other signature moves. We use something in turbo kick called a capoeira. Now, we have a couple of capoeira steps, and it comes from Brazilian martial arts, where a long time ago, slaves developed capoeira in order to be able to continue with their martial art practice without their owners knowing that they were doing it, so they wouldn't get in trouble. So capoeira has a very dance-like feel to it, as well as a really strong martial arts feel, and you'll see that in all of our capoeira moves. Basic capoeira move is an actual capoeira step. So if you're going to come wide with your feet, you start, and I just kind of want you to march back and forth right here, marching it, keep it in that turbo tuck, pulling the rib cage towards the pelvis with that posterior tilt right there. I know it's kind of hard to see with the pregnancy belly, but I promise I'm doing it. Tucking in right here. And if you're marching back and forth, one foot is going to go front and then back. Here, front, and then you drop it back. Yes, front, perfect, back. Now, the arms are involved as well. Notice that the foot, though, is not crossing behind. It's actually staying wide. So you're basically on these railroad tracks, and you stay on the railroad tracks, front to back, right? So when you add your arms to it, I want you to think about tucking in here, keeping that core tight. Arms are really, really strong in guard. It's like you are grabbing somebody by the shirt, and then you take them, you throw all the way behind you, and you throw them on the floor behind you. So it's a really deep, powerful move. But like I said, it has that rhythmic nature of a dance as well. So also notice, right now I am dropped into this hip flexor. So when the leg comes back, I'm actually extending through my hip flexor so that it stretches and squeezing through this back glute. So I'm getting a lot of work in this leg as well. And this is really important because remember, we talked about how in our life, we're always here, or here, or we're here, or doing something, and our hip flexors are usually in a shortened state. But when you do moves like this, and you have to lengthen through that hip flexor, all of a sudden you're getting deep work into some area that you don't typically get, and you get the glute work, which is another area that is weak on a lot of people. So you're getting all these cool things. So again, when you do the capoeira, make it really strong, really powerful, try and stay lifted in that chest, but still tucked in with the core. And again, it's just front and then back. And I want you to front and then throw it to the back. Front, back. Make it really big, like it's heavy. Right here, perfect. And again, if you're switching to the other side, same thing. This foot is just gonna go on that little railroad track. So again, you go front, drop into that hip flexor, back. Yes, front, and then back. Come on, a few more, make it heavy, yes. One more, perfect. All right, so does anybody have any questions about the W or the capoeira? Anybody? No? Okay. So we're gonna move on into what's called the turbo twist. Now, the turbo twist is in a ton of rounds. You'll see this all the time. And when you start turbo kick, you always have people that are new to turbo kick that are like, what is that? What is that? I don't understand. And it is a move that when you hear it, you're like, what is that? But then once you get it, it's like riding a bike. You'll always know it, it'll always be great, but if you get really deep into it, then it is this incredible move that combines punches, abs, legs, all this stuff, and it gets really deep into the body. So, what is it? You start with 3 punches, jab, cross, jab, and then you come into a 4th part, which is a chamber knee, all right? So, if I'm gonna face you and you take your right arm, you're gonna jab first. So it's a jab, this is just the upper body portion. You cross right here, giving me that strong cross and guard, and then you come back to a jab, and then chamber that knee into a strike. And again, squeezing through this standing glute, lengthening through the hip flexor here, pushing that other one forward. All right? So that is kind of a modified version of a twist. So if you have somebody that kind of has some lower body problems, they can always keep it upright and just do the upper body as a modifier. Here, now, if they don't, here's what you can do to make it deeper. You come down, you give me a jab, then come down into a full lunge. See how I'm dropping this back knee almost to the floor? That front quad is parallel to the floor. Again, I'm lengthening through this hip flexor, squeezing through my glute right here, but I'm in that full lunge, giving you a cross here. Then we switch back again, lengthen and extend so the jab comes back out, and again, chamber up that knee. So it's a big, big movement coming from the top to the bottom. So again, let's do it a little quicker together. So we go jab, cross, jab, knee. Jab, cross, jab, knee. Yes. Pulling up that chamber. Squeeze through your glute right there. Hit. Yes. Knee. To the left, same thing. Again, you're in that stance position, a little bit staggered here. You come out with a jab, jab, drop into that lunge, jab, knee, jab, cross, jab, knee. Yes. 4 different parts, dropping into the lunge, keeping those punches strong. Now the other thing that people think about a lot during the twist is to keep that chest lifted. So it's really tempting for us, again, with just normal movement patterns to be this way, right? People kind of round their shoulders forward. Again, it comes from this kind of stuff, all being rounded forward. But you want to think about tucking those shoulder blades into the back pocket, rolling the shoulders down so you're really proud through the chest and staying lifted that way the whole time so that when you come out, jab, cross, jab, knee, you're lifted here instead of leaning forward here. Does that make sense? Good, wonderful. So again, think about that lifted posture, think about dropping into that lunge and coming up into that strong chamber, squeezing through the glute. So there's a ton going on, but you'll notice as you do it, your heart rate starts coming up, right? So if you do a twist correctly, it's super dynamic and you keep it really, really high intensity with the cardio. So we're gonna move on to the next move. Do you have any questions about the twist? No? Awesome, let's move on.